Mostly. Still feels a little weird, though. Guess I'm not used to having the tube out. But it's nothing that would keep me from getting back out there.
You need to give it more time.
Guess that means you won't be telling the Marshal that I'm approved for field duty.
Not yet. There could still be a setback, and I need to be close at hand if that happens.
Fine, fine. But you should know that I'm crawling the walls in here.
Just take it easy. Shouldn't be long now. You get in a scrape, best come see me after. You seen those ashed outside? Let's have a look at. Don't see anything wrong. Here's what I've got. Overall, not too bad. People keep me hopping all the time. Mainly it's minor scruffs, bruises, the occasional broken arm. The real work is when someone gets attacked by an Ashta. Those are the bad times. Enjoy Aquila City, and for God's sake, be careful.
Work hard, play hard. The mayor's late one night, Danny Wilcox tried to arrest me for public indecency.
A year or two back, and I shared a drink with my
That man can drink.
Need something? You got some business with me? Oh, well, if the Marshal sent you to me, that means he's looking to recruit you. Just so you know what you're getting into, I'll explain who we are and what we do. Well, the FREESTAR Rangers ensure the safety and security of the FREESTAR Collective and its people. We might hunt down a fugitive, break up a smuggling operation, investigate a starship theft, or put some would-be bank robbers behind bars. Whatever needs doing to keep the people safe, we do. Like most things that are worth doing, it ain't always easy. But do I think we make the FREESTAR Collective a little safer for everyone? Yeah, I do. I imagine you've got some questions. I'll answer anything I can. The number's always changing due to retirements, recruiting, and unfortunately, death in the line of duty. But as far as I know, there's never been more than a dozen Rangers at any one time. Well, in theory, a FREESTAR Ranger can go anywhere in FREESTAR Collective space, even private property. But of course, it doesn't always work out that way. We also have jurisdiction over any local security when we're tracking a fugitive. I'll say right up front that if you're looking to get rich, this ain't the line of work for you. But yeah, we do get paid from time to time to help with expenses and such. Okay then, a word about myself. I'm in charge of making sure anyone that wants to be a FREESTAR Ranger is up to the task. That being said, the Marshal wouldn't send you here if he didn't think you had potential. So, what's it gonna be? Are you ready to sign up with the FREESTAR Rangers? I prefer a more practical kind of evaluation. I'll give you the details if you want to join. Before I hand you a badge, I need to know you can handle the job. You helped out with the hostage situation, but sometimes people just get lucky. Tell you what, use the mission terminal and take one of the listed jobs. Your choice. Come back alive? This is a dangerous line of work, and I'm not putting someone in the field unless I'm sure they're ready. Sorry, but it doesn't work that way. Just do the one mission, and we'll go from there. Then I suggest...
Hiya.
You should try Phil Burns' beer. It's brewed in the city, and it ain't bad.
It's not mine. How does it work here? Yeah, I guess technically the city owns it, but it's really the FREESTAR Rangers' place more than anyone else's. But yeah, I'm happy to work here. The pay's decent, but it's also the safest job I've ever had. Well, you know where to find me.
Welcome to the Rock, I guess.
Oh, you're back. How'd it go? Good. You did what I asked, so let's go meet the Marshal. Follow me.
Diego Monroe, at your service. Well, theoretically, the Rangers' work is never truly done. Just about the hardest way possible. I had, shall we say, a checkered past. Rangers caught me dead to rights and offered a deal. Leniency, if I helped take down my, well, criminal. So I took the deal. It was real touch and go, but a lot of bad guys went down. Initially, all I could do was lament my fortune. Prison, it ain't easy. But I served my sentence, searched the dark recesses of the soul. I realized the only time I felt genuinely good about myself was working with the Rangers. So after a parole for the very best of behaviors, I nagged the Rangers night and day until they gave me a chance. Haven't looked back since. Well, if you're asking me to toot my own horn, I will oblige. I'm a senior ranger. I coordinate all manner of things, great and small, for our outfit. If you've ever seen the mission board, that's my babe. It's restricted to Rangers, though. Yours.
Job. Seems capable enough, and we could use the help.
All right, then. Step forward, recruit. Let me have a word with you. I've got just one question. Do you pledge to defend the people of the FREESTAR Collective, even if it means risking your own life? You've already had a glimpse of what we deal with. I'm not going to lie to you. It can get a lot more dangerous than what you've seen. So what's your answer? Well, that's not quite the same thing, but it'll do for now. Here, take these. You're now a FREESTAR Ranger Deputy. I'm assigning you to Ranger Wilcox for some field training. Listen good to what she tells you. Welcome aboard, Deputy.
Wish we could throw you a welcome party, but there's work to do. We got word from a farmer on Montera Luna. She says someone's trying to take her farm, and she's afraid she might be in danger. Well, it's a moon that orbits Montera. It's got a breathable atmosphere, warm climate, and good soil for growing. Just a name. Michaela Wagner. There have been Wagoners on Montera Luna for a long time, and I'm sure they're proud of that heritage. Well, most things do at the start. Doesn't mean they stay that way. That being said, best not to assume anything. Just try to keep an open mind. Grab any supplies you might need, and let's get going.
Pay attention to what Ranger Wilcox tells you.
The FREESTAR Rangers. You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
I'm Ranger Emma Wilcox. My deputy and I are here to help. Now, tell us what happened.
I was out planting in the fields when I saw some men approaching. They looked like soldiers with uniforms and weapons and such. They wanted to buy the farm. Didn't even ask if it was for sale. Their offer was so low, I told them right where they could stick it. They said they'd give me time to think about it, but if I didn't change my mind, I was gonna regret it. Then they left. There were 4, but when they were walking away, I heard them talking like there were others. Maybe there's more out there. Nothing I can think of, no. Truth is, we're in some hard times here. The last harvest was the worst we've had in a long time. Besides, it ain't like there's a lack of available land around here. That's right. The uniforms look like the ones worn by FREESTAR soldiers back during the war. They had a certain steel in their eyes. Like men who are used to violence. I was in fear for my life. Back behind the house are some canyons. They went that way. That place is dangerous. Steep slopes, narrow trails, rock slides, and all manner of hostile creatures, too. If you're going after those men, be careful. Oh, there's one other thing. They said they were the first. The first of what, I'm not sure. But there must be more of them coming.
Thank you, ma'am. That should be enough for us to find these men. All right, Deputy. Keep that weapon handy and your eyes sharp. Since these guys don't know we're after them, they're probably not making an effort to hide their tracks. Now, let's go and check out those... Quiet out here. I like it. Nice change of pace from Aquila City. Boot tracks. Several pairs by the look. Not too old either. Let's head down into the camp. You're a natural tracker. You smell that? I'd bet my badge that's wood smoke from a campfire.
We should be careful. This bottleneck is the perfect place for an ambush.
Standoff at the bank ought to keep the marshal tied up for a while.
Wait. You mean that whole thing was a setup to keep the Rangers distracted?
That don't concern you. If the Rangers get in our way, then they get what they deserve. That's all you need to know. Now quit complaining and get back to your post.
We're gonna have some fun.
Well now, look who's here. Ms. Wagner called in the cavalry. Except it ain't much of a cavalry. I suggest you turn around and walk away while you still can.
Normally, I'd suggest you choose your words carefully so we could avoid bloodshed. But something tells me that isn't going to be possible.
Oh, it ain't exactly the farm that's special, but that ain't none of your business. Don't recognize the uniforms. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's like the Major said, everyone's conveniently forgotten. Forgotten our sacrifice. Forgotten how we were betrayed. We'll make them all remember soon enough. I promise you that. You think you're in a position to make demands. Well, I've got news for you. All you're getting from me is a shallow grave. So, got any last words I should try to remember? We've been found out!
Find anything interesting? Let's see what we have here. Interesting. So, their ship was stolen from the Hope Tech factory. Whoever pulled that off must have been one hell of a shipjacker. Well, I guess someone really wants that farm bad. Speaking of which, let's get back there and let Miss Wagner know that she's safe. For now.
This is quite a fight.
What's the news? What happened? Did you... Well, it's good to see you're all right then. They must have been crazy or desperate, trying to take on the FREESTAR Rangers. So who were they? And why do they want my farm? Hope Tech? The cargo ship company? Sorry, I don't know anything about that. So I have no way of knowing if there aren't more coming. Guess I'll start sleeping with a gun nearby. I can't thank you enough. I'd hate to be remembered as the wagoner who couldn't hold on to the farm that's been in the family for so long. Of course.
If you have any more trouble, give us a call. We're in system, so it won't take long to get someone out here. All right, Deputy. Let's get back to the rock. We need to report this to the Marshal.
What's the story on Montero?
That call we got from Wagner Farm turned out to be a little more interesting than I was expecting. Some men were trying to run the Wagners off their land. They tried to buy it first, but when that didn't work, they turned to threats. We confronted them, and unfortunately, it came to violence. None of them survived.
You helped someone in need and came back alive. That's a job well done. For the time being, yes, but you could still be in danger. That's why we need to fill in some blanks. What did you make of these men who were trying to take the farm? If that's true, then someone must have hired them. Now, did you find anything that might give us a lead on why these men wanted the farm? Hopefully it's enough. Says here the thief had help from someone inside Hope Tech. Ain't much to go on.
There's something else. They were dressed in FREESTAR militia uniforms. The unit badge was yellow on black with the number 1. They also said something about being forgotten. They seemed bitter about it, resentful. Didn't you fight in the Colony War, Marshal? Any of that sound familiar?
The 1st Cavalry. I was in that unit for a while. But it was disbanded decades ago. After the Battle of Nera. What was left of it, anyway. The war between the United Colonies and the FREESTAR Collective? Worst conflict the settled systems has ever seen. Each side unleashed terrible weapons on the other. And countless people died. The armistice was signed 20 years ago. But a lot of folks still bear the scars. I suppose it ain't impossible, but it's real damn unlikely. The unit was pretty much wiped out, and the few that survived ended up in prison after a court-martial for disobeying orders. I don't recall how long the sentence was. The 1st Cavalry lost almost all their mechs and soldiers in a big push to take the United Colonies base. They were just about there when a ceasefire order came down. Both sides had just lost too much by then. It was a bloodbath. The commanding officer of the 1st disobeyed the order. He didn't want the lives of his soldiers to be sacrificed for nothing. They court-martialed him, and the rest of the surviving officers, and locked them all up. No, it doesn't. Just raises more questions. It's a good bet that starship thief can help us get some answers. The Hope Tech factory is in Hope Town on Polvo. Nia Kalu's our ranger stationed out there. She can introduce you to Ron Hope, the president of Hope Tech. He might be able to help you find the thief. Just make sure you stay on his good side. He's on the Council of Governors, and they're the ones we answer to. The ruling body that oversees the FREESTAR Collective and the Rangers. The council members are the political and corporate elite of the FREESTAR Collective, so we have to tread lightly when we're dealing with them. Proud, stubborn, and smart. A self-made man. He built Hope Tech through blood, sweat, and sheer willpower. Good. The last thing I need is the council breathing down my neck. This is your assignment now, Deputy. Work with the other Rangers. Find out what you can about those men on Montero Luna. Meantime, I'll look into a possible connection with the 1st Cavalry. Good hunting.
Anyone is hearing this? System's failing. Need help. I repeat, need help.
Welcome to FREESTAR Space. We're gonna do a quick scan for contraband, and you can be on your way. All right, we're done. Welcome to Hope Town.
Green lights on outer hatch, but we're docked.
Please tell me you're here to help, not to try and steal my ship. You need my help. I'd laugh if it didn't hurt so much. I was tracking a crew of outlaws that's been preying on merchant ships. Bastards got the drop on me. I ran them off, but they got a few good hits in. As you can see, I ain't in much shape to make repairs. I'll be fine once the pain medication kicks in. The priority right now is the ship. Can't do my job without it. Thanks. That should get me home. You're right. They were pretty beat up, so I don't think they got real far. But if they make it back to their hideout, I might never find them again. We can't let that...
They look to be heading for Polvo's moon Miatha.
Good hunting. You made it. Those outlaws didn't give you too much trouble, I trust? Good. I'm sure it didn't hurt that I softened them up for you. You've got good timing. A courier just came in from Aquila. The Marshal sends his regards along with a briefing on your case. I was surprised as hell to learn about the starship theft. Nobody said a word to me about it. Anyway, Mr. Hope can see us whenever you're ready. If you need to take a little time first, feel free. No, and I can't get answers as to why not. I'm sure Mr. Hope has his reasons. His office is upstairs. He's in a meeting, but it should be wrapping up. Come on.
I don't want to hear any complaints.
I'm guessing the Marshal already told you this, but I'll say it anyway. Ron Hope isn't just the founder and president of Hope Tech. He's on the Council of Governors. The Council oversees the Freestar Rangers, so don't rile him up. I spent a long time trying to build a good relationship with Hope. He comes on a little strong, but there's a lot to admire about the man. Everything you see around you, he built. Pretty much everyone in this town owes him for their livelihood. Can't begin to imagine the kind of pressure that must put on someone. All I'm saying is, try to show a little respect.
Enjoy your visit to Hope Tech.
All the way up. Is it just me, or does every executive in the settled systems have an office on the top floor? I guess being above everyone makes them feel like they're, well, above everyone.
We'd be dust except for the factory.
Contract with scavengers, maybe, but that's a decision that's got to be made upstairs.
Well, talk to Elaine about the scavengers. It's not a bad idea, provided we get a good deal. And I don't mean a fair deal. I mean a good deal. Remember, it's not just our bottom line that matters. We're also responsible for the welfare of everyone in the factory. We look out for our people here, Bridget. That's a point of great personal pride.
Excuse me, Mr. Hope.
Well now, the Freestar Rangers. At last! Dad, good to see you. I think we're done here, Bridget.
Yes, sir.
This is the deputy I told you about.
Splendid. Splendid! It's a noble calling, being a Freestar Ranger. We certainly could use more of you. Let's get down to it, shall we? Time is money. I'm sure I don't have to tell you what an outrage it is to have a ship stolen right out of the factory. Justice must be done, and the sooner the better. That's good news. I'll send my people over to bring it home. Of course, that doesn't mean your work is done. I want the thief found and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I'm sure I don't need to remind you of my position on the Council of Governors. Then, I trust that you know what I expect of you. Now, tell me that you've at least got a lead of some kind. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. Sadly, there's no lack of mercenaries in the settled systems. I suppose the chance to cut costs by stealing a ship was too good to pass up. Well, I'm not sure I can be much help, but I'll answer whatever questions I can. No, nothing at all. It was just a standard Hope Tech cargo hauler. Not that it didn't have great value, mind you. Hope Tech builds some of the most durable and reliable starships in the settled systems. Now, you can bet my ships last twice as long as anything Stroud Eklund makes. We questioned everyone who was in the building when it happened, and not one person seems to have seen anything at all. Frankly, I think that's both highly unlikely and more than a little suspicious. However, I can't deny there are times when the hangar is empty, so it's not inconceivable the thief could have slipped in unseen. What? Nonsense! We vet our people thoroughly here. HopeTech holds its employees to the very highest standards. Nevertheless, I suppose I could have Cosette conduct a thorough personnel review. Rest assured, if we turn up any evidence that one of our people was an accomplice, I'll let you know. Very well. I need you to understand something, Deputy. This town is home to men, women, and children who depend on HopeTech for a living. I provide jobs that put food on their tables and a roof over their heads. It's a responsibility that I take. If word gets out about the stolen ship, my investors will lose trust, and my workers will pay the price. I can't allow that.
Well, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm sure the burden of responsibility for your workers is an inconvenience, Mr. Hope. But the deputy has responsibilities as well.
Despite what you think, I have great respect for the badge and the difficult choices that come with it. But my primary concern is for the welfare of my people. I hope so.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Hope, but there's been a development.
Not now, Cosette. I'm in the middle of something.
But sir, we have new information. I've just received a report that the stolen ship was seen landing at Neon just after the theft.
A breakthrough at last. Well, Deputy, it sounds like you'll be heading to Neon, which means I can get back to work. Remember what we discussed. Many people are depending on you.
Hey, can I get a word? That wasn't as helpful as it could have been. Still, at least you know where to pick up the trail. Let's hope. So, guess you're headed for Neon. There's a ranger stationed there. Name's Jalen Price. He's a little different than the rest of us. But Neon's a different kind of place. He's what I'd call a pragmatist. He sees things for what they are. He's also well connected, which means a lot on Neon. You should listen to what he tells you. It'll keep you out of trouble. Well, we could talk for an hour about that. The short version would be that crime, law, and justice don't exactly mean the same things there. The badge doesn't carry the same weight on Neon, so you might have to get creative. He should be able to help you out. Well, we've both got work. It was good to meet you, Deputy. Thanks again for helping me out up there. Yeah, the question of who helped the starship thief is still an open one. Don't you worry. I'll keep an ear to the ground. You be careful in here.
Off.
If you'll excuse me, I am on duty. Mr. Hope is a vital part of not only Polvo, but of the entire FREESTAR Collective.
Hey, I don't care who you work for. You can't just... Oh, you're the rookie, aren't you? Not exactly, but I get a lot of unwanted visitors. Kinda comes with the territory here. The one and only. Well, the Marshal's message said you were following a lead about a stolen ship. Truth is, a lot of stolen goods flow through here, but this city is real good at keeping its secrets, even from us. No, I think you should. Yeah, about that. This isn't Aquila City. The badge doesn't carry the same weight here. The people who run this place aren't overly concerned about the law. Our job is to keep the peace and make sure the violence doesn't get out of hand. The last thing anyone around here wants is some hotshot deputy looking in every dark corner.
Law enforcement isn't exactly welcome in Neon, but that shouldn't deter you from your duty.
Rookies.
I'm proud of you. Without duty and honor, you'd have nothing left.
Your stolen ship would have had to land at the spaceport. If it was right off the factory floor, it would have stood out. There's a guy I know, Billy Clayton, does maintenance work around the city and keeps an eye on ship traffic for me. I'll introduce you, but don't expect a favor. Even if it doesn't cost credits, nothing in Neon is free. Believe it or not, yeah, it was. My mother's an executive with Ryujin, so I grew up here. I volunteered for this post as much to keep the other Rangers out of trouble as any other reason. If some hotshot rookie took this job and started flashing the badge everywhere, it wouldn't end well. Nah, I've got friends in high places, so to speak. I'm the son of a Ryujin Industries executive. Maybe you've heard of her. Name's Alexis Price. There's a sort of fragile peace here in Neon. It's better for everyone if the syndicates and the corporations coexist with minimum friction. Stay out of people's business until you can. Be willing to let the small stuff slide. Don't break up a fight unless it's getting out of hand. Most of all, don't assume that badge will protect you. This is Neon. There are no guarantees, and who I find trustworthy changes on a daily basis. Talk to him or don't, it's your call. Come on.
There's something I need to talk to you about. Remember our last conversation when you told me the artifacts made your mind and body feel out of sync? Well, it got me thinking. So I dove into our archives and started looking through Constellation's older journal entries. Just because I wasn't familiar with the experience you described doesn't mean the same might have been true for my predecessor. Unfortunately, no. Other than you and Barrett, there were no records of direct encounters with the artifacts. I have to admit, though, I did get more than a bit sidetracked reminiscing about old times. Really? I'm surprised that I haven't. After reading those journals, all of the pleasant memories of my time spent with Aja just started flooding back. Aja Mamasa. She was the youngest member of Constellation when it was founded. Only took her 15 years to reach chair. Sorry, I sometimes get so caught up in my own bubble, I forget that I wasn't the first. She absolutely was. Aja was the one that taught me the ropes at Constellation and took me under her wing as her protege. Now that you mention it, you're probably right. Either way, we logged quite a few interesting discoveries together. Honestly, it wasn't so much what Aja and I discovered in our travels. It was the journey that was memorable. We catalogued unusual stellar phenomena, a few habitable worlds, and some unique life forms, but nothing SSNN would bother to report. Exactly. For me, it was all about the quieter moments. There was nothing quite like sitting back and watching space bend while listening to Aja spin vivid stories to fill the time. Oh, I find that sort of cozy isolation the best way to really get to know someone. At this point, I'd say you've graduated from protege and moved up the ladder. A bit. You know, all this talk about Aja reminds me that my time with her was a gift. I miss her dearly. No, she retired. Living on Porima 2 now, I think. Come to think of it, if we're ever out that far, perhaps we could pay her a visit, and I could make proper introductions. Well, I don't expect you to be a carbon copy of Aja. Just be your... You see, it's clear that we share the same hunger to discover what's out there. And that, well, that's what intrigues me. I won't be disappointed at all. And if it turns to be the case, I'm certain things will continue to run smoothly. Anyway, that's all I had to discuss for now. Thanks for spending time listening to me. It really helps.
That was pretty impressive how you volunteered to help out with the bank heist in Aquila City. Yeah, I read all the reports. I learned quickly that in Neon, staying informed and staying alive are closely linked. What stood out to me was that you didn't lose a single hostage. No wonder the Marshal tried to recruit you right away. If he hadn't, it would have made him look like a fool, having some random stranger step in and do the job he couldn't. Now, if someone tried to hold up a bank, I need to impress that upon you. Because the fact that you think justice is absolute concerns me, Deputy. It's never that simple. Justice can mean different things to different people, and laws can be interpreted and debated. A ranger relies on judgment and intuition to do what's best for the people.
Trying to cut down on terror brew, but I think I might be addicted to it. It's just too good.
Hey, Billy, you got a second?
What? Oh, it's you. Give me a good scare. I thought you were one of Goodman's people.
Sure, far from it. Our new deputy here is working a case, and I thought you might be able to help. Take it away, rookie.
What do you need? Huh. A stolen Hope Tech ship, huh? Well, here's the thing. Neon's got no end of shipjackers. I see them come and go every day. It's tough for a guy to remember one from the other. You know what I mean?
I suppose we shouldn't be surprised that he's asking for something in return.
Credits ain't really what I need. There's something you could do for me.
If he won't even accept credit, I worry about what he's going to ask us to do.
I can help you, but right now my life is in danger, and I haven't even done anything wrong. FREESTAR Rangers are supposed to protect the innocent, right? Then you need to hear this. It's about my brother. He died while still in debt to a syndicate loan shark by the name of Emmett Goodman. Now, Goodman's coming after me to collect. He says if I don't pay up, I'm a dead man.
Well, that's terrible. You shouldn't be responsible for your brother's debts.
Yeah? Well, tell that to Goodman, because he doesn't seem to care. He just wants his money. From where I'm standing, it seems like our problems are intertwined like a... I'm sorry, but this is my life we're talking about. If you were in my position, I'm sure you'd feel... I swear it on my best set of wrenches. Goodman's holed up in one of the warehouses on Epside. Place is locked up tight, but there's a guard who watches the door, and he's...
I'll stay with Billy in case Goodman's men come to collect. They're not stupid enough to tangle with me.
This is private property. You'd better keep walking. This is private. Nah, I don't think so. Neon's got a ranger, and you ain't him. Do you now? You might be right. Sorry, but... Look, I'd like to help, but... You go in, talk to the man, and then you come right back out. Try anything stupid, and it's your future. Here, this will get you in.
Well now, look here. Well now, always happy to... Tell me, what brings you by, friend? Little light on credits, are you? Ah, it's awful kind of you to intervene on my behalf, but I think I have the matter well in hand. Thank you all the same for your concern.
What an absolute imbecile. He's clearly mocking us.
Now that's where you're wrong. Cal agreed to my terms, including collection from family on the event of his passing. It ain't my fault he dragged Billy into it. But make no mistake, that's exactly what he did. What's your stake in this? If you think I'm afraid of some loudmouth deputy, you've got a lot to learn. You have a point there. One never knows when a favor from the Rangers might come in handy. Very well. You can tell Mr. Clayton that the debt is forgiven, and I'll trouble him no longer.
You better watch it.
At least 3 times now? They hit the bars, buy a lot of drinks, and talk up how great they are, how their unit almost won the war single-handed.
In other words, they're recruiting.
Yeah, pretty successful too. The locals really eat up that former war heroes crap. It's been more than 20 years. You'd think nobody would care anymore.
To a lot of people, war heroes is exactly what they were.
I know what you mean. When I was a kid, my friends and I used to pretend we were 1st Cavalry soldiers fighting off imaginary UC troops.
A lot of kids played that game.
Did you talk to Goodman?
It's such an
Okay. Sure. Got no reason not to trust you.
I'm sure the deputy has a reason for withholding that information. Sometimes, in our line of work, it's better not to know all of the details.
I'm sorry. I don't agree with that sentiment.
Okay. Time for me to keep my end of the bargain. The woman you're looking for is named Grace Early. Stealing ships is her line of work. She usually comes here to sell the goods. Rumor has it she just finished a job for some mercenary outfit, and she's been throwing money around, so it must have paid well.
I know her. When she isn't out on a job, she's a regular at Madame Sauvage's. That's on the upper platform.
Well, what about me? You just gonna leave me twisting in the wind here?
If I were you, I'd get the hell out of Neon and start over somewhere else.
Word is the Borealis, you know, the DJ? Well, she's moping around because she...
A FREESTAR Ranger and his... What are you? A sidekick or something? Well, I'm sure your mom is real proud. So how come I'm talking to the sidekick instead of the Ranger?
This is the deputy's case.
Is that so? And you had to bring backup just for little old me? I'm flattered. Anyway, this ain't my first interrogation, so let's just get on with it. Oh, I'm listening with rapt attention, Deputy. I'm guessing this is the part where you tell me that you've got questions and that you expect me to answer them. That sound about right? So I stole a ship. Nobody got hurt. I didn't even keep the damn thing. It was a contract. I was hired to get it for some men. Don't even know where it is now. It was just a job. Look, they didn't tell me what they were gonna do. How was I supposed to know they were gonna go after some farmer?
You should have asked when you took the contract. If that woman had been killed, you'd be an accessory to murder. Did you think about that?
No, I guess I didn't. I really doubt it. I don't care how badly you need it. Hold on. I guess if I can't trust a FREESTAR Ranger, then I can't trust anyone, right? I was approached by a woman named Maya Cruz. Said she was a senior member of the First and that she had a job for me. She was working with someone inside Hope Tech and pitched me on the idea of jacking a ship right out of the factory. We were deep into planning the job when she had some kind of medical emergency. She said she needed surgery and would be in recovery for a long time. That was a few weeks ago. Haven't heard from her since. No, but it sounded serious. She was upset. Seemed kind of shaken, you know? Didn't seem right I should pry, so I didn't. You serious? Take your pick. Money, reputation, the thrill of it. All good reasons. Only some kind of offhanded comment about their client wanting to expand the operation ahead of schedule. In my line of work, you learn not to ask a lot of questions. It tends to make people uncomfortable. Not long after that, I got a message from a guy named Marco. He said he was the money man for the First, and he offered half up front. Never met him directly, though. It was always through intermediaries and using encrypted slates. Got the feeling he was paranoid as hell.
Do you have one of those encrypted slates on you right now?
Yeah. Here. Take it. I'm done with all this. Anything else you want to know? No. Nothing at all. Left me feeling a little disappointed, given how well they paid me. Not so much as a hint. I'll tell you, he's as cagey a fixer as I've ever met.
Bankrolling the First must take a lot of money. I'm sure he's got all kinds of side hustles going on.
Nothing, really. I was told when and where to meet them. They paid me what I was owed, and that was it. Yeah.
Next time you're at the Rock, you should give that encrypted slate to Ranger Alex Shadid. He's got a gift for cryptography. If anyone could crack that slate, it'll be him. I'm gonna head back. Good luck, Deb.
Then I'm free to go. Suits me. I'm getting too old for this line of work. Besides, I'm going out on a high note. Ain't many can say they grabbed a ship right out of Hope Tech. Should make a good story for the kids one day.
Not everyone gets to...
Hey, I wondered when you might come by. I'm Alex. Nia's report said you were heading for Neon? I've always wanted to go there. What did you think? Oh, I can't fly anywhere. Issues with my Eustachian tubes. Being in a pressurized environment is like someone taking a laser cutter to the sides of my head. It's not great. But at least I can pretend to visit the party capital of the galaxy by having you tell me about it. Yeah, I bet. It just sounds so exciting and so... Probably makes Aquila City look like the more boring backwater town in the settled systems by comparison. Alas, I'll have to experience it vicariously through you and the other Rangers. So how'd it go? Turn up anything useful? Did he now? Well, in that case, challenge accepted. It's only a matter of time before I know every dirty little secret stored in this thing. Now, if you get any more of these, bring them to me. It helps if I can compare different instances of the encryption they're using. Just look for me up here. I have no life, so I'm not usually hard to find. It'll take as long as it takes. You can't rush a job. One thing I can promise you, though, is that it'll go a lot faster if I don't have to answer silly... Oh, I will. I guarantee.
I need a word. Welcome back. Any luck finding out who stole that ship from Hope Tech? Grace Early? Yeah, I've heard the name once or twice. Sounds like you're making real progress. Good. Stay focused on the task at hand and don't take your eye off the target. That's how a Ranger should think. What did you learn from this starship thief? Well done, Deputy. Sounds like you've got a couple of new leads to follow up on. I have a guess who Marco might be. I served with Maya Cruz. She's a technical genius and an expert hacker. I can give you some background if you want it, or we can go straight to planning your next move. Like what? Most likely place would be the clinic. It's in FREESTAR Collective space and provides the best medical services credits can buy. They also guarantee privacy, so it's an ideal place for someone trying to keep a low profile. Ranger Ben Armistead is posted there. I'll send him an update on the situation. Around the time he got out of jail, we started hearing Marco's name in circulation. Word is he's heading up a smuggling racket. Based on what you've learned, I'd presume he's funneling his ill-gotten gains to the First. Ranger Autumn McMillan is out at Red Mile right now looking into the smuggling operation. I suggest you pool your resources. Just remember, that's outside FREESTAR Collective space, so we've got no jurisdiction there. Your priority is to gather more intel about the First. What are they planning? Who are they working for? Where are they headquartered? Just remember that your targets were locked up because they were loyal to their unit. They think the FREESTAR Collective betrayed them. In other words, you ain't gonna get a warm welcome, so be careful. Good hunting, Deputy.
Wait a minute. Judging by the wide-eyed and clueless look on your face, I'm guessing you're the new deputy. We'll find out, won't we? Well, your timing couldn't be worse. I've spent weeks trying to crack this smuggling ring, and I'm about to take a very important meeting. Because I've trained new recruits before, and it's not an experience I want to repeat. I hope so. I don't have time to catch you up, so you're gonna have to follow my lead. I'm about to meet with a contact who might be able to give me vital information about the smuggling ring. If you play your cards right and don't do anything stupid, she might be able to help you find Marco. If you're ready, my contact is here and waiting. She won't be staying long, so I don't have time to brief you. You'll find out everything you need to know when you meet with her. Follow me.
Pardon me?
Runners come and go, but the mile usually wins.
I keep thinking the next time I'll live up to my legacy.
Oh, I can't believe people who participate in blood sports can possibly be considered celebrities or heroes. Oh, in my mind, they're worse than criminals.
Who are you? Wait, Autumn has friends?
Like hell. The deputy here is interested in meeting Marco to talk about that mercenary company he's been funding. Since part of that money is coming from his smuggling operation, we're working together.
So you're investigating the first? Why? Seems like a strange thing for a mercenary company to be doing.
I guess an introduction is in order. Like Marco, Jade here is the head of a small smuggling cartel. Difference is her crew stays out of FREESTAR Collective space, while Marco's group operates exclusively within it.
Except now he's looking to expand his operation, and he started moving in on my territory. Well, thanks for the economics lesson, but I think I know my trade. Look, the bad news is, Marco's incredibly paranoid. He never stays in one place for long. The good news is, I know how to find him.
But you're not going to tell us yet because you want something.
I want the same thing you do. I want Marco out of the picture. But like I said, getting a meeting with him can be damn near impossible. One of the few people who can arrange such a meeting is right here at Red Mile.
May Divine. We've suspected for some time that Red Mile was a meeting place for smugglers. If she's in business with Marco, she won't give him up easily.
She's the owner and manager here. Inherited the place when her husband was killed. My thinking exactly. I can tell you right now what she's gonna want, because it's the same thing she always wants. She wants runners. It's how she makes most of her money. Of course, people that hard-blooded aren't easy to find.
Yeah, well, I'm not going out on the mile. That's a death sentence. There has to be another way.
You've been a ranger long enough that too many people know your face and your name. Runners attract a lot of attention. If someone recognizes you and tips off May, this whole thing is shot. You, on the other hand, are just a deputy. It's pretty unlikely that a lot of people know you.
You don't have to do this. We'll find another way to get to Marco. I hope that's not false bravado, Deputy, because this is life and death we're talking about. If it's really as simple as asking May Divine for a meeting with Marco, then I guess that's all you need to do. We'll wait here for you. Try not to die.
Really going to take on the mile, huh?
Something you need?
Let's keep it that way.
Ah! I wonder, is this the face of a brave runner here to challenge the Red Mile? Or simply one seeking a respite from the burdens of life? My name is May, and I'm the proprietor of this establishment, home of the famous Red Mile. I assume you're familiar. Well, of course you are. How could you miss hearing about the Settled System's most exciting sporting event? Why, even people from the most backwoods systems like Sol have heard of the Red Mile. I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have. In the meantime, please enjoy our world's famous hospitality. Well, it's quite simple, really. Once you register with me, we'll have a little pomp and circumstance before sending you on your way out the big red door. Then it's a race to the buzzer at the other end of the course. You'll deal with obstacles and deadly creatures alike, while people up here place bets on how far you'll get. Make it back alive, and you'll stand to win riches and the admiration of your fans. I'm sure you can figure out what happens if you fail.
Well.
Of course. And if you're thinking of running, just let me know. I'll be glad to sign you up. That is true. But Mr. Graziani values his privacy. What is your business with him, exactly?
I've been face to face with death more times than you and all.
It's no small favor that you're asking. But yes, I can arrange such a meeting. It's been too long since we've had proper entertainment. If you're willing to provide it, I'll give you Marco. Are you prepared to run the Red Mile?
Thanks to you, I'm barely able to fulfill my very lucrative.
Good. Once you've begun, I'll collect bets from my patrons who will place wagers on your survival. That's what every runner says.
Mission or not, I can't even imagine why you'd take part in such an uncivilized activity. There's always a better way.
Now that we're clear on what's expected of you, are you ready to begin? Good. Come with me and I'll introduce you.
What?
Nothing quite like this.
People betting over other people's very survival. Absolutely revolting.
Your attention, please. Valued patrons and honored guests. For one brave soul, the hour of things at hand. Yes! A runner has come to test the Red Mile! Now is your chance to get a good look at our fearless challenger as you contemplate your wagers. Do you see the fire in those eyes? What is that if not steely determination? I think you'll agree that we're in for quite a show. The rules are simple. Go through the door and take the elevator down to where the mile begins. Activate the beacon at the base of the tower you'll see in the distance. Once you've done so, return here alive and your run will be complete. Go now, runner, and see if you can survive the mile! Well done, runner. Now all you need to do is return alive. Unfortunately, the beacon tends to attract unwanted attention. Good luck!
I took this job so I could be here to see all the runners.
Congratulations, runner. You have succeeded where most have failed. In fact, you seem none the worse for wear. Indeed you have, and in most impressive fashion. As promised, I'll set up your meeting with Marco. I'll dispatch a courier to let him know you're coming. Please take a moment to relax and enjoy our hospitality.
Look at that. You've still got all your limbs.
You made it. You're back. Are you? And here I was feeling like a nervous wreck the whole time. Guess I had nothing to worry about. Anyway, I'm relieved you made it through okay.
Why? Afraid you'd lose all that work you put into your smuggling investigation?
I wouldn't expect you to understand. All you see in people is what you can get from them. I'm glad, because that was an incredibly brave thing you did. And we need rangers with that kind of courage. Also, I owe you an apology. I was pretty awful to you at first. I'm sorry about that. How could you possibly... Maybe someday I can... But no. No. Now isn't the time. We need to focus on the task at hand. Once you're on your way, I'll return to the Rock and let the Marshal know what's going on. Come home safe, Deputy.
You always were the soft one, little sister.
Oh, go to hell. Or at least make yourself useful and get us some drinks.
Warriors are driving all the business out of Red Marble. Thanks to you. Barely able to.
That was impressive.
Time for me to keep my promise, runner? You can find Marco on Kodos aboard his ship. I'd advise you not to keep him waiting. He is not exact. Then it's in all our interests that you make haste. Travel safely, runner. Should you ever crave the challenge of the mile again, it will be here, waiting for you.
Time to get the ship.
You the runner? Boss is in the back.
Well, one thing's certain. Graziani certainly isn't afraid to flaunt his wealth.
This music is gonna put me to sleep.
Here to join the first?
My word. Some of these pieces on display are incredible. They belong in a museum.
Ah, the dulcet tones of classical piano.
Welcome. May's message didn't exactly make it clear why you wanted to meet with me. If you're looking for work, my organization is always in need of pilots and security personnel, willing to take risks. You've heard of the First, I take it. I'm not just a member, I also help to fund the outfit through a network of independent traders. Of course, illicit goods are the most lucrative, so there is a constant need for skilled pilots. Ah, I see. You did well to find me. I'm not an easy man to locate. Though I suppose we haven't exactly been keeping a low profile lately. Given the nature of the contract, a degree of exposure was always a risk, but a calculated one. To be honest, I think the Major is all but spoiling for a confrontation with the Rangers. Still, I confess, I'm a little disappointed that the Marshal sent a deputy instead of a full-fledged Ranger.
I'm willing to bet this deputy can handle whatever you intend to throw in our path.
And who might you be?
Sarah. Sarah Morgan.
It's a pleasure to welcome you aboard, Sarah. It's clear you are a woman of refinement as well as beauty.
How about we skip the compliments and move things along, shall we?
Your deputy friend here could have a bright future, assuming we all keep our heads. To settle accounts, Major Hall served with distinction during the Colony War. But the leaders of the FREESTAR Collective, they turn on him. In his eyes, the Rangers are enforcers for a corrupt Council of Governors. That makes you his enemy. As for me, I didn't see any profit in nursing that grudge. I prefer to focus on the future. I'm not sure you are grasping the situation here, Deputy. You are on my ship, outnumbered by my guards, who killed you without hesitation. I'm a businessman. If you expect me to cooperate, I'm going to want something in return. I won't tell you everything. I do still have some loyalty to my unit. However, I can point you in the right direction. In exchange, I want the Rangers to let me operate with a free hand. I can't do that. The losses I'd incur would be too great. How about I sweeten the deal? Accept my offer, and I'll throw in a little something extra for you. Please, accept this modest donation to the FREESTAR Rangers, in gratitude for the good work that you do.
How interesting. I wasn't aware that accepting bribes was one of the tenets that FREESTAR Rangers live by.
It'd be a shame if an encrypted slate like this one somehow got into the wrong hands. Wouldn't it? Now, before you complain, remember that all I promised was to point you in the right direction. You're free to stay as long as you like. It's not often I get to entertain such a distinguished guest.
Can I help?
Better this than being some dust wrangler on Montara Luna.
Hey there, Deputy. Way I hear it, you've been keeping busy jumping from one side of the FREESTAR Collective to the other. How do you like the job so far? That's good to hear. So, what brings... Well, what do... Well, this is new. Very interesting indeed. I'll see what I can do. If you can get me another one of these, it'll give me more context for the encryption and should speed things up. In the meantime, you be careful out there, Deputy. From what I've heard, these mercs mean business.
These Rangers are some hard-blooded folk.
Yeah? Oh, now hold on a minute. You're the new the Marshal's been sending out reports, keeping us all in the loop in your investigation. Yep, I'm pretty well caught up on things. Ben Armistead, pleased to meet you. Well, I guess that's the long and short of it. You're the newest member of the Rangers, and I'm the oldest. So, is one of them first mercenaries here at the clinic? You know, every Ranger knows it's important to trust your instincts. No better place in the settled systems to get medical treatment. You can bet it beats anything them UC piglets got. Ironic, given they're the ones who built it. I know just the man who can help you. Right this way.
Yes?
Just between you and me, I ain't entirely sure why someone felt the need to station a Ranger out here. I'm not much more than a glorified bodyguard for Dr. Darvish. She's the one in charge around here. And she's also on the Council of Governors.
I've got a year under my belt.
Most of the staff don't seem fond of the idea of
First
me
couple of
being
years
here,
are the hardest,
and I
for
ain't
sure.
fond of them right
Getting
back.
used to it is an
Bunch
accomplishment in and
of
of
stuffy
itself.
eggheads, if you ask me. Except Ari, that is. He's about the only one I can have a conversation with. Hey there, Ari. Working hard or hardly working?
Hey, Chief. A little more the former than the latter. What brings you by?
Well, the deputy here could use some help. Came looking for someone who might be a patient.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, I'll leave you in Mr. Miller's capable hands. You need anything else, I'll be in my office.
I'll try to help you, but our computer systems have been having some issues. Huh. Well, we don't give the patients free access to our computer systems, so I doubt that's related. Still, it's worth keeping in mind. So who's the suspect you're after? Former soldier, huh? Yeah, they say war changes people forever. Makes me sad, the thought of soldiers who come home and don't fit in anymore. The name's not ringing any bells, but maybe we can approach this another way. Do you know what was wrong with her?
And you know she doesn't like us talking about it. Besides, I've got enough to do without worrying about it.
That should help narrow things down.
Awful lot of
I can access the patient records from my terminal, assuming the database cooperates. Come on.
You need anything, just say the word. One of the docs will get you right as
Kill for a cup of coffee right about now.
Okay, give me just a minute here. Maya Cruz. Maya Cruz. Come on, Maya. I need you to be in here. Okay, finally. Here we go.
Holding up all right, dude?
Oh. No matches found for a Maya Cruz.
Thanks for asking, Rebecca. This year has really flown by. Of course, dear. I remember my first years.
If Maya's here, then she's got to be using an alias. Which actually makes a lot of sense if she's a wanted woman. Yeah. Let me think for a second. All right, hang on. I know that we do have a few female patients staying with us. There's Candace... what's her last name? Doolin. Candace Doolin. And then there's the Nakamori woman. I think her name's Jane. I don't recall offhand what they're here for, but it's a start. You're welcome to use the Ranger Station terminal. I'll enable admin access for you.
I'm sure there's someone else that can help you.
You heard of the Elios Retreat? Supposed to be some new age healing center for reforming criminals or whatever. Going up in Ixel too. I'm not holding my breath.
Yes. What do you... I'm sorry, but we don't permit unscheduled visitors to that area. You'll need to ask whoever it is that you wish to visit to make arrangements with me. Who exactly are you? And I require you to respect my authority as a senior doctor here at the clinic. The answer is no. The rules are the rules. No exception.
Oh my goodness. Are we really going to let this bureaucrat block our progress?
Oh, I suppose if I can't trust a colleague, then I can't trust anyone. This will get you in. Conduct your investigation quickly and without disruption. I do hope you won't make me regret this.
Well, you look like I work here, right? Couple of patients didn't seem to think so. Awkward situation. Dr. Darvish took a chance on me, hiring me fresh out of training. Need to make sure she doesn't regret it. Tending physician. I'm new here, so really what I do is watch Dr. Darvish's every move and try. Sounds a lot less impressive when I say it out loud. Thanks for stopping by.
If you need assistance, please see our member at the desk.
Stopping at the clinic to do a bit of xeno research, eh? Count me in. Integrity looks good.
Heard your ship, Doc. If you are who I think you are, then you're here to bring me in. I have to warn you, I've had more than enough time to prepare for this. So either you leave now, or I'll be burying what's left of you.
Now I can see why Stroud Eklund set up shop here. That crystalline form... quite intriguing and valuable.
You've got nothing. You're done.
Well, what are you waiting for? Finish it. You might not think so now, but it's likely to end up that way. How about I make this real simple for us both? I've got maybe a few weeks to live, and I ain't spending them behind bars. You want to put an end to me here and now? Then fine. Get it over with. Life's kicked me around enough as it is. But if you want to let me die on my own terms, then leave me in peace. Well, how about a test? Rangers are known to be handy with a gun. But here's a problem you'll have to solve with your brain instead. I've encrypted this slate. If you can crack it, you'll learn something useful. Now get out of here.
Helga says I spend too much time at my terminal. She's probably right. Hey there, Deputy. How go? Good, good. If you ask me, I don't think they stand a chance. You're like an Ashta creeping silently through the high grass, waiting for your chance to pounce, and then boom! So, did you get any more of those encrypted slates? Because, let me tell you, I am... Who, me? Doubt you? Not a chance. I knew you were a natural the moment I laid eyes on you.
Come in, Deputy. Take a seat.
This won't take long.
While you've been in the field, we've had more reports about farmers being threatened and attacked. Unfortunately, some didn't survive. It's worse. How's your investigation proceeding? That's assuming he finds something useful. Otherwise, you'll be no better off than when you started.
It must be very easy for you to sit back and criticize when we've been doing all of the field work.
I've done my part. Besides, this is Ranger business, so why don't you keep your mouth shut?
Let's move on. I asked the other Rangers to share their opinions of you, and there are some things I want to go over. We'll start with Ranger Callow in Hopetown. She was grateful for your timely arrival, and impressed you had the guts to take on those pirates. Nia says you were respectful with Ron Hope and didn't push too hard. That shows me you were listening when I said to go easy on him. I can understand that. He can be uncompromising, but he looks after his people.
Let's continue. We got a detailed report from Ranger Price about your recent visit to Neon. He said you took on a syndicate loan shark to help an informant. And you were right to do so. Helping people is our most important duty, even when you're conducting an investigation.
You got results, and that's what matters most. Price was impressed by that. Said you really took the initiative.
Ranger McMillan praised what she called your uncommon bravery and dedication. She said you took on the Red Mile so you could get a meeting with Marco Graziani. Sounds like you're starting to understand what it means to be a Freestar.
So what happened with Marco? I doubt he gave you that slate out of the kindness of his heart. I'll take your word for it. But that also means it's your responsibility to make sure he keeps his nose clean. What about Maya Cruz? Her loyalty to Hull and the 1st Cavalry was stronger than most. I guess I'd want the same thing if I were in her place.
Excuse me, Marshal?
Not now, Alex. We're in a meeting here.
I know, but this is important. I've done it. I've cracked the encryption on the slates. Now, I don't know exactly where the First are headquartered, but there are references to a place called the Factory.
The Factory? That was our nickname for the main facility where the mechs were manufactured.
Under the terms of the peace treaty, they shut all the mech factories down right after the war.
But they didn't destroy them. At least not all of them. Never saw it myself, but I know it's a large facility mostly underground. If the First are occupying it, they'll probably have set up defensive positions throughout the complex. The facility was on Arcturus 2. It could be a dead end, but if it's not, then you'd better be ready for a fight.
If the Marshal's right, you could encounter serious resistance. Be prepared.
Crap, no.
These mechs were some of the deadliest instruments of war created by mankind. It's a relief that they've been outlawed by the Armistice.
You know, I really don't like walking into deserted locations like this.
First. Marshal Blake must be getting desperate sending a lone deputy out here. But I'll give credit where it's due. You're a hell of a pilot. If you came here seeking justice, it's waiting for you inside. I'm a man of action. I've got no use for lies. So when I tell you that you're being manipulated, you know I'm telling the truth. You think the Council of Governors are heirs about anything but themselves? They're greedy and corrupt. You're a tool in the hands of the unworthy, just like I once was. I was loyal. I followed orders, and I led good men and...
Have anything valuable?
I'll carry
1st Cavalry was the greatest fighting force the FREESTAR Collective has ever seen. At the Battle of Mira, the 1st Cavalry was destroyed. Why? Because the generals got scared and asked for a truce. I've got no sympathy for cowards, or for the people who put themselves.
You've got no idea who you're messing with.
You come here seeking justice. Well, what about justice for my soldiers? Minutes away, minutes from winning the battle and the war, when the ceasefire order came down. Now there's a debt of honor, and the people who betrayed us, the people of the FREESTAR Collective, are going to pay.
I'm gonna end you!
I can't believe it. You just took on some of the best mercenaries in the FREESTAR Collective and cut right through them. If we'd have had more like you in the war, we could have planted our flag in New Atlantis. Not the way it should have. Of course, I can't expect you to understand what we sacrificed, what we lost. You don't know what it's like to look around and see the faces of warriors who trusted you to lead them as they die screaming. I watched brave men and women torn limb from limb by monsters. I saw mech pilots cooked alive in their cockpits as their machines burned. Those deaths didn't have to be meaningless, but spineless leaders gave up on us even when victory was within our grasp.
We've both seen our share of hell. It's whether or not we allow those awful memories to consume our souls that defines who we are.
You have no right to judge me. You really want to know? Because you might not like the answer. Last chance, Deputy. You can walk away right now and remain blissfully ignorant, thinking you fight for a noble cause. But if you still want the truth, I'll shatter that illusion for you right now. Because I can prove it. You'll... Not long after I started the first, I was contacted by a man who said he represented someone wealthy and influential. I refused to work for a shadow client, so he agreed to set up a meeting. Imagine my surprise when Ron Hope showed up. He offered me a lucrative contract to take possession of certain farms throughout FREESTAR space.
That's quite an accusation.
To keep the Rangers off the Sen. Hope wanted to hit a lot of places quickly and finish whatever he was doing before word spread. We needed another ship to meet his timetable, so he gave us the intel necessary to steal one from his factory. It also let him play the victim and keep suspicion to a minimum. All I know is that after we cleared the place out, Hope was sending in some kind of machinery. Our job was to make sure nobody saw the operation.
Sure I did. The money was good, but the payback was the real reward. If I could avenge my men, make some credits, and eventually expose a member of the council, well, that, my friend, is my definition of just... You think I've lost? Is that it? I haven't lost. You go find Ron Hope and tell him what I've told you. Then you can deal out whatever justice you see fit. You do your job, and I get one last piece of vengeance against the council.
If what he says is true, then there's no question Ron Hope has to answer for what he's done.
Don't bother.
We're trying to take you in quietly. Violence is not the answer, Major.
I'm gonna make this easy for you, Deputy. I'm gonna die the way I lived. Weapon in hand, no compromise, no fear. But first, here, take this. Use it to cut out the weakness rotting at the heart of the FREESTAR Collective. When the next war comes, and it will come, the Collective needs to be strong. Now my unit's waiting for me, and I'm gonna report for duty one last time. Goodbye.
I don't even need a gun.
Does it hurt?
That's very generous, Mr. Hope.
It's well earned, Birgit. We set some ambitious quotas. You met every one of them.
Well, I won't pretend it was easy, but everyone pulled together and we got it done.
I'll let you share the good news, whenever and however you like.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Something more you need, Deputy? Good to see you again. Well, I've just received a report from the Marshal about your progress. He said you had a promising lead on the mercenaries who stole my ship. I trust you're here with good news? Excuse me? Oh, that's one hell of an accusation, Deputy. That two-faced bastard kept the slate. Oh, I suppose this is his revenge against the Council of Governors for what happened during the war. I'm impressed, Deputy. It's clear you have a bright future ahead of you.
What's going on? What is this about, Mr. Hope?
Nothing that concerns you, Birgit. In fact, why don't you make yourself scarce?
I think I'd like to hear what the deputy has to say.
I can see you're upset. Allow me to explain. And you'll see that there were very good reasons for what I had to do. The truth is, we've been falling behind the competition. Significantly so. We needed solutions. A few years ago, I began to diversify. We started to research chemicals, fuel, those sort of things, we developed an experimental fertilizer. Oh, and it failed utterly. It wiped out entire crops. I was prepared to write the whole thing off when we made a discovery that changed everything. Turns out, our fertilizer was transforming the soil, bolstering its mineral content tenfold. Not all at once, of course, but we could never find anything that would grow in it. Eventually, everything we tried to plant failed and died. Mining is expensive, and so is the cost of raw materials. My mineral-enriching fertilizer solves several problems at once. The farmers provide free manual labor, and once the land is ready, we move in to extract and process the soil.
So those farmers poisoned themselves, and you ended up reaping profits. How can you even live with yourself?
It's nothing personal. It's just good business. I don't expect you to understand. Look around you. Everyone in this building, in this town, is depending on me. I provide the jobs that put food on their tables, clothes on them. The fact is, the business hasn't been doing well lately. Without drastic action, cuts would become unavoidable. These people work hard for me, and they trust me to do the same in return. I cannot, I will not let them down. Look, I'll level with you. We're falling behind the competition. The hardworking people of this town depend on me for their livelihoods, and I won't let them down. Cutting my costs means saving their jobs.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. How could you do something so awful to innocent people, to families?
Not another word out of you, Birgit. I can take your job, and more. We'll discuss this later. In any case, I suppose the gig is up. I give you my word that I'll call off the operation and return the land to its rightful owners. You're right, of course. Something must be done. I'll set up a fund to handle funeral expenses and take care of any surviving family members. We'll do this the right way. I give you my word. Like I said, I give you my word. Besides, the work was just about done. With that resolved, let's talk about you. As a member of the Council of Governors, I'm authorized to award you a substantial bonus. And of course, we'll both agree to forget about my little... Did I not make myself clear? I'm offering you a reward for a job well done. And with that job so capably done, we'll consider the matter closed. I'll be needing that slate from Major Hull, of course. Of course you do. But first, take a moment to consider the big picture. I'll do what's necessary to protect my company and my employees. If you tell anyone about this, you're risking their livelihoods. Do you really want to put all these people out of work and make their families suffer? But on a much larger scale, yes. Well, I'm afraid there's no avoiding it. The past can't be changed, but the future is very much in your hands, Deputy. You put me away, and this company will fall apart. You have destroyed far more lives than I did. I'll make myself. I won't let you jeopardize my reputation, this company, or the people who work for me. If that means you suffer an unfortunate incident at the hands of my security personnel, so be it. I'm important. You're nothing.
You're not actually threatening to attack a Freestar Ranger, are you?
You're a despicable man, Hope. And I hope you get exactly what you deserve.
You just threatened a member of the Council of Governors. On my authority, you're stripped of rank, declared an outlaw. Guards! Dispose of this criminal!
Oh, you're
Looks like the last of them.
He tried to have you killed. I don't understand. Mr. Hope always seemed like such a good person. But everything he said about the farmers and hiring those mercenaries, it was so awful. He never seemed that complicated to me. He always looked out for us, for his employees. I know what I just heard and saw, but he was a friend. No. He was more like a father. And now he's... you. Nobody should ever want that. Especially when it means killing someone who meant so much to so many people. What happens to us now? That would be Elana. Elana Nwankwo. She seems pretty capable. Maybe we'll be okay after all. I guess we'll have to figure things out. Find a path forward.
There might be some difficult days ahead, but I wish you good luck.
Hiya.
Good to see you back safe, Deb. What's the word on the mech factory? Were the mercenaries hiding out there? Damn, you've got guts of steel. Did you find out why the first was taking over farms? What? Ron Hope? That's one hell of an accusation.
Are you really that surprised? Hope's always had a reputation as a man who'd do anything to succeed.
He's on the damn council, Emma.
So he can make laws favorable to his business interests. Sure, he's known to look after his people, but do you really think he gives a damn about some farmers on Montara Luna?
Did Hope explain his motives at all? That has a familiar ring to it.
I recall hearing about some Hope Tech initiative to help farmers. At the time, I just figured it was a PR stunt. Seems a little more sinister now.
Please, tell me you've got some evidence to back up these extraordinary claims. All right, let's see what you've got. Interesting. Yeah, this is pretty damning. Especially this last bit about destroying the slate. And you confronted Hope about this? Damn. This is going to send shockwaves throughout the FREESTAR Collective. If the people can't trust their leaders, anarchy could follow.
Have a little faith, Daniel. We're not the United Colonies. One bad apple won't spoil the whole damn barrel.
Easy for you to say. You ain't the marshal.
Not yet, but you ain't gonna live forever, old man.
While we've got you here, there's one last piece of business to take care of. Emma, would you please?
With pleasure, Marshal. When you first joined us, I told you that you'd undergo an evaluation process. There's one thing left to do. A simple question. Do you feel ready to wear the badge of a full-fledged FREESTAR Ranger? Good. Duty and honor are the backbone of the FREESTAR Rangers. Marshal, I approve the deputy for advancement to the rank of Ranger.
Thank you, Ranger Wilcox. In your time serving as a deputy, you've shown exceptional courage, fearless tenacity, and a high regard for the safety of our citizens. By the authority granted to me by the Council of Governors, I hereby promote you to the rank of Ranger. Here's your badge. Wear it with pride. But don't forget the solemn responsibility it represents. I know you will, Ranger. Let's hear it for our new Ranger.
Whoa!
Great job, Ranger!
Congratulations. The promotion's well earned. Be safe out there.
Something you need from me? Keep up the good work.
It was
good to see
really
you.
the heart of
All
the
right.
FREESTAR Collective.
Hey, boss. Got some more dispatches.
Go on.
Couple of bar fights, and an arrest for breaking and entering at the Trade Authority.
Hell, that's all local trouble. Nothing that concerns us.
I'm grateful to have a little more
That
help
it?
around here.
For now, yeah.